This is a redirect video for Jojo's Bizarre Adventure, Part 3, Season 2, whatever, Episode 16 and 18. So go click in the description below to go see my reaction to it, and then come back here to see my full review, full thoughts, full theories, ideas, that kind of thing, full review, discussions, discussions, just me. Yeah, basically come back here to see my full thoughts on the episode, and then, yeah, I will see you guys back here when you finish my reaction or whatsoever. If you don't want a spoiler, click away now or be spoiled as to what happened in these episodes. Okay. So, I predicted in one of my last redirects that, this group of episodes were going to be focused around the girl messing with the guys, basically, because they brought her along, kind of thing. Ultimately, that was immediately shot down for the fact that in the first minute, if that, of the episode, she died. Just straight up, just like a minute into the video, or I think it was like 2 minutes probably, but yeah, 2 minutes into the video or into the episode, she just was sitting there all quiet. Joseph is sitting there haggling, somebody for some food. He does it, which that was a whole funny scene to begin with, but yeah, so he's all haggling the guy and everything, and I keep wanting to say I think it's the Empress. My brain keeps wanting to say Enchantress, but I know it's not the thing. It's just a Marvel character. Um, but yeah, so Sheila kind of wakes up and realizes that the guy that Joseph was haggling with is indeed another agent of Dio. So it stands to reason that there are going to be more people that Dio hires or whatever, gathers to go fight the Jojos and whatever, Team Jojo. So yeah, because we thought at first that it was just the girl, the Empress, and then her 7 agents that she sent out, but Dio has more apparently. So yeah. So yeah, but like I said, 2 minutes into the episode, the Empress dies. So my theory on that was way off. Some say it was not true. So yeah, so we found out there's a guy. Was his name Dan or something like that? He's a lover card. His stand is to go into other people's bodies and transfer pain from the user to the victim, I guess. So the stand goes inside the person's brain. So I guess as an example, these 2 Cobra heads, right? So think of this one as the stand user, and then this one as the actual victim or whatever, his enemy. He sends a little tiny bug thing over to the ear of this one. Whenever this one gets hurt, so if you're punching it or whatever, it comes back to this victim, attacker, whatever, enemy. I think at double damage, double the strength or something like that of the thing, because even when Jojo picked him up, by the cuffs and everything, was holding like this, it wasn't doing anything to him, but Joseph was almost choking in a way, he was was very affected by it. So stands to reason that it kind of comes back tenfold, or it hardcore amplifies the amount of damage, pain, or whatever that the guy was, the lever card guy was, Dan. So his name is so generic. It's great for me because I immediately remember him. I hope it's Dan now. If I'm wrong on this, if it's Dan or not, I'm gonna be mad at myself. but yeah, so we got to see like 2 episodes of him basically, and then we got to see uh Polnareff. I think it's how you pronounce. I always forgot how to pronounce his name. Him and Kakouine go into Joseph's brain, shrinking down their stands to go inside his brain, and they go fight the Dan stand. Um, so that was pretty interesting. I didn't know that was even a thing. I didn't think they could even do that, like shrink their stands down kind of thing. I thought it was always kind of like, the size is what the size is kind of thing. So I'm wondering if they can go the opposite way and they can actually be bigger if they wanted to. Obviously, it might cause more concentration to do so because it seemed like it was putting a toll on Polnareff. When he was doing it, he was saying like it's exhausting to him, kind of thing, to hold that size of a stand. So I'm assuming if you go the opposite way and you grow your stand, it's probably the same thing, or even more so power, or energy to maintain. So it's cool. We're learning a little bit more about stands as we go along still. Um, so yeah, and then we kind of had a bit of a tussle, I guess, with Jotaro and Dan. While Polnareff and Kekuin were inside Joseph's brain, they were on the other side of the city, I guess, or something like that. They're far away. And Jotaro had to kind of sit with Dan, basically, and deal with his crap while they were doing their stuff. So we saw a lot of Dan being, like, very mean and everything and trying to, like, just screw with him and basically uh, humiliate something like that. Yeah, that word. So I'm all over the place right now. But yeah, the next episode 18. I know I'm kind of skipping ahead because like nothing really happened in a way in 16, 17. It can kind of always like immediately be summed up very quickly because like nothing really happened other than like Dan's stand kind of multiplying. And then they had to deal with that, and then like the girl scene where like Kakouine had like a his stand drew wrapped him around a thing so that way they can drag him back so they can hit the girl, that kind of thing. It can be summed up pretty easily. So episode 18 was very interesting. How they bought a expensive car, they drove for however long it was, and then they traded the car for 4 camels and a bunch of water, um, which was like a steal for the guy because like it's an expensive car or whatever. Um, and yeah, the whole thing that he was talking about how like it's all about trade and not really about money. Um, it's very true. Like I can definitely see that happening. I mean, it's not just in that country. Like any kind of country that uh, uh, is kind of away from the big city stuff. Kind of like not in like in the country, but like in the countrysides. I guess that's the correct term for it. Since they're so far away from the city, they don't really necessarily require a lot of money. So I've seen lots of like documentaries and stuff of like people actually going to those like far off countries and stuff like that. I mean, even in just like in the U.S., like kind of deep U.S. Like I'm not even sure where deep U.S., but I've seen kind of documentaries where like people don't really like care for money that much because they're so far away from the cities and stuff like that that they trade for just trade. They just trade objects like give me that and I'll give you that kind of thing, like of equal value, right? So it's kind of cool to see that the JoJo's kind of touched on that as well. The haggling thing too, as well. The haggling thing was pretty funny. But yeah, so the expensive car for 4 camels and some water did seem kind of a steal or whatever. But it is 4 camels, so I don't know how much is like in terms of like value. 4 camels are, I would assume, very high. But I guess it was a pretty expensive car to begin with. So yeah. Anyways, they took those camels out and started going along the desert. and then they realized that it was 8 o'clock and the sun was still like beating in the sky. And then they found out that the sun was actually a stand, and that was the coolest reveal. I was just like, I can't remember what I acted like when that happened, but I feel like I was kind of cluing into what they were doing. I'm like, is it the sun stand kind of thing? And then like it revealed like it was. So I was like, damn, like someone made a sun like with their stand. So they hid thanks to Jotaro's like digging ability with his stand. Basically, he just punched the ground a lot, dug a hole or a cave or whatever. It's not like a hole actually. He said dug a hole, but really they just made a little cave bit to sit into kind of thing. Um, or cavern or like igloo kind of thing in a way, but like out of rocks. Um, it wasn't a hole at all. Maybe they did dig a hole. I'm not sure. But yeah. So they did that to kind of hide away from the sun, which was kind of scorching, and then the poor camels. I think one passed out and potentially died from it. Then when the sun attacked, it killed one of the camels, so they're down to 2 camels now. Um, those other 2 are safe as far as we know, but the other 2 didn't seem to make it. It didn't look like. And potentially all their water. I think all their water is gone except for the ones that they got from the stand user who was using the sun stand. It's really interesting to see how many other agents there are beyond the Empress and her 7 people or whatever. So like they were still getting agents like after the Jojos and everything, even though they defeated the Empress and they defeated like all the members that they were already defeated so far, and like they're still finding people to attack them and everything. So it's very interesting. Um, oh yeah, so the Dan guy also was able to um, he was able to, I guess, speed up the process of the bud, the plant bud thing, or plant bud, but like the tentacle bud thing that Dio puts in their brain. Um, uh, and well, I guess that guy was probably carrying the bug with him to bring into the people's brains. Um, so I think he had 2 on him. He did one on the Empress, and then like kind of expanded it like tenfold, kind of thing, like mass. Well, I'm trying to think of the term. Um, it sped the growth process up quite a bit, so that way it would like kind of like just like, explosive expansion or whatever. And then he was trying to do the same thing with Joseph, but of course they got that out of him already. But yeah, that was cool, interesting thing that happened. But yeah, the whole the sun thing was pretty awesome because it's one of those things where like I think it was like half the episode, maybe potentially half. I think it's a little bit more than half the episode of the sun like being there, and them dealing with it, and then they start like going crazy and laughing and stuff. And I thought it was like like heat stroke, kind of thing. Like they're like just like losing their minds because of the heat. Turns out they already know exactly where he is, and they're just laughing over it because it's so funny. Um, but apparently the guy who made the sun or has the sun as a stand has like a mirror kind of truck thing or whatever. Um, I don't know if it was a truck or not. I think it was just like a structure kind of thing, just like a little tiny outpost or whatever that was hiding behind. Um, but it mirrored to hide himself basically. Um, and freaking Jotaro just picks up a rock and just like chucks it as hard as he can at one spot and just like boom, done, shattered the mirror, and the whole stand goes away, and it's dark outside again and all that stuff. That was so funny. It was like in an instant. We didn't get to see or talk to the guy at all. He was there and then not there anymore. That was really funny. I liked that one a lot. So from here on out, I suspect my theory is next group episodes, next 4 episodes, 19 through 22, will probably be about Dio. Then probably getting to Dio and then dealing with Dio a little bit, and then I'm assuming next week, um, which will be the finale. Um, it's will probably be the either aftermath or the final battle of a Dio. Um, I mean, at this point, I don't know if it's going to be the final battle with Dio because he keeps coming back. He's died like 4 times now, or died 3 times, whatever, 3 times, 3 or 4 times, whatever. So I'm expecting him not to die. I just expect them to defeat him in one way or another, and then moving on from there, kind of thing, and then him come back in the later seasons, kind of thing. So I think so far we've seen him. We've seen him mostly in the first half of the first season. Yeah, with the time skip and stuff as well. Well, not much of a time skip, but a little bit of time skip between the original Jojo fighting him and everything. But yeah, can't wait to see what happens next. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens. They still haven't shown us the face of Dio, which I'm still wondering if that's like if something happened, or something. It's so weird they keep hiding his face. Like we've seen him in the past. We've seen like only last season we've seen him. So I'm wondering why they're hiding his face so much. Like I don't know. And just every time we see him, like on Gotham or whatever, he's always like obscuring his face or like kind of thing like that, or he's like looking behind so much that you can't see the front of his face, or that kind of thing. So I'm wondering why. Like, did something happen to him? Did I don't know. Well, hopefully we'll find out next week when we see the next episode. If my theory is correct, and my theory is correct, then we'll see him next episode. Or not next episode. Not next episode, but next group of episodes. I'm full on believe. So we have 4 episodes next week, right? So 4 episodes to basically see Dio. I'm suspecting 19 will not have Dio in it. That's kind of like more along the lines of, Team Jojo kind of getting to him. Potentially 20 as well, but I think maybe at the end of 20, probably having something to hint at Dio, and then 21 and 22 are all about Dio, and then I'm assuming 23 and 24 next week that we'll watch will also be about Dio, either the final battle or the aftermath stuff of the Dio battle. So yeah, I'm excited. Wondering what the deal is, because they keep, like I said, they keep showing him but not showing him in a way. So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see him fight too. I was thinking about that earlier. Like he's got the same power, it seems like, that Joseph has. Like the whole tendril thing. Like he did that with the picture. He took a picture just like Joseph did, but instead of like Joseph shattered the camera to take a picture, Dio just kind of like put his hand on it, kind of thing, and did it, and then it didn't shatter, but it ended up doing it. So I'm wondering what he can do with that. So yeah, I think that's about it. Again, this is one of those kind of weird reviews where like it kind of goes by quick, because in a way nothing really major happened. It's just kind of like it can be summed up pretty easily. Not much to kind of theorize about, because like these are kind of like self-contained stories in a way, because like they're all about 16 and 17 are all about the lever card guy, Dan, which we saw the beginning of him at episode 16, and then we saw the end of him on episode 17. So it's like, a beginning and end. There's not much to talk about at, there, because like we've already seen it. And same with the sun guy. We saw the beginning and end of him at episode. Actually, he didn't really die per se, but he did get knocked out pretty heavily. So we probably will or will not see him later on It'll be hilarious if we never see him again, and they just bring him up like, oh, this magical like badass guy with a stand who can like summon the sun and like everything, and then just never like touch on it again. It's so funny. But yeah, so I think that's it. Like I said, tune in next week for 4 episodes, and the week after that for the finale. And yeah, I am excited. It's gonna be pretty fun. We also get to watch the opening in 2 weeks as well. So just watch the opening for this episode only. So we get to watch like the opening. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you guys back here next week for some more JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Also, down below in the comments below, as always, please don't spoil things. If you do spoil things, my moderators will delete your comment, and I will never be able to read your comment. So if you want to talk with me in the comments below, don't spoil. Don't be a weirdo. Don't be spoiling stuff for people. It's just mean. And yeah, if there's anything I missed or you guys want me to talk about or discuss in the comments below, let me know, and I'll talk with you guys down there and everything. I think I got everything, but yeah, do that if I did miss anything. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next week for some more JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Take care, everybody.